Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the weather in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, I'm at Gatewood, principal broker of Gatewood Properties in Kentucky. And today we're going to talk about the weather in Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to break down some of these details on the seasons, the temperatures, precipitation, things of that sort. So starting off, it's technically the humid woodlands climate. What you're going to find here is hot and cold and all points in between. You're going to get all four seasons in full effect is what I tell people. So starting off in terms of how much sunshine do you see in this climate? And we see on average about 195 days of sunshine a year. How does that rank? Well, on average nationally, it's 205. So we're about 10 days short of the national average of what you would see. Where that comes into play a lot is in the winter time. We have typically pretty cloudy winters. So let's actually break that down a little bit by season with temperature, precipitation, everything. Some statistics from the National Weather Service shows that winter's average temperature is 38 degrees Fahrenheit. In spring, it's about 58 degrees. Summer's 78 degrees. And autumn is around 60 degrees. So overall, the temperature throughout the year averages out about 59 degrees. So like I said, kind of getting hot and cold and everything in between. Annual precipitation is around 48 inches. Where a lot of that falls in more heavily is spring, but it's pretty consistent throughout the year. We will get thunderstorms in the summer and we will get some snow in the winter, but it's a little varied here, and I'll talk a little more about that. In terms of winter, like I said, it's cold, it's cloudy. About 13 inches of snow on average in a winter. Now, I can say as a Louisville native that some years you'll get more than others and less. Some years we really won't see any, or maybe a dusting here or there, an inch or two. And then other ones we might get a 7-inch snow or 5-inch snow here, 3-inch of snow here. But one thing to note about the snow is that because of where we're located geographically, we're up on the river, right there on the Ohio River. Sometimes that kind of blocks some of the precipitation coming in, the snowstorms and stuff coming in. So some of southern Indiana, a little bit higher, will actually get more snow than we will when some of the big storms come in. Because you're getting some of that warm southern air and cold Canadian air when the precipitation comes. Where a lot of times we'll see a big snowstorm is when you may get some northern air and some southern precipitation hit. So it's kind of rare we'll get some of those. We have a pretty good time with them when we do, because we're not like the Northeast or the North where we see it all the time. And part of that is our temperature variations will change because we're where we are. And so you might be down in the 20s, low 30s to get the snow. And then a few days later, it'll be 45 degrees. And so a lot of it melts off. So it's not like you live in Wisconsin or Minnesota where it snows and it just stays all year long. So it's a little different in that sort of, in that realm with it. In terms of the spring, you see a little bit of heavier precipitation during that time in the form of rain. We do occasionally get some spring snows. I think the average is like 2 inches in the spring. My birthday's in late April, and it is a bit of a variation where sometimes that might be kind of colder or cloudier. I've actually seen snow on my birthday. Or sometimes it'd be great. Yeah. Shorts, t-shirt, all that, which I may have just given a little hint of where I prefer the warmer temperatures for it. But hey, if you like cold or you like warm, there's a little bit of everything here for you. So that is kind of more the spring as it leads in. We do see everything bloom here, and it's pretty with the flowers and the trees and everything else. So you do, if you want to kind of spring as the flowers come up and annuals, perennials, that kind of stuff, you're going to get that here. Summer, it's actually hot and humid. So since I said it's in the humid woodlands climate, we do see a decent amount of humidity. We will occasionally get some temperatures up toward 100. Sometimes we'll get the upper 90s and things like that. Heat index will maybe push over 100 or that. That's not necessarily the norm. You get some kind of warmer temperatures and aspects in there. We usually are hovering in the 80s and 90s in a lot of the summer. And like winter, we may have some that are a little hotter or cooler than others. Some variation in there. Autumn, pretty time of year here. You're going to get the leaves changing, so you can get the complete antithesis of the spring. You're going to get everything blooming, and you're going to see everything fall, where everything will be bare in the winter with that. We're not a heavy evergreen. You're going to see evergreens and things like that, but you're going to see a lot of the leaves changing colors here. Another note about that, autumn is just slightly warmer on the average temperature than the spring, and you'll see that. Spring gets a little more of that variation. It feels like it's sort of old man winter and summer kind of fighting each other to get into summer season. So see some of those things. Okay, so some practicality points to it. If you're kind of wondering, moving here, or wondering about the weather, you will need all forms of clothing. You will need a winter coat, you'll want a swimsuit, you're gonna want a fleece, and also kind of a spring light jacket as well. You're gonna want a raincoat, you're gonna want boots, and you're gonna want sandals as well. You're gonna need a little bit of everything is what our closets are filled with. And actually a lot of people will kind of switch out their clothes in summer and winter if there's enough space in the house, but you're gonna want everything in terms of preparation for clothing to wear. Also kind of practicality thing, pools are open from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So that's when they're open and closed. Obviously, if you have your own pool, you might change that variation a little bit about it. But that's when public pools or even the private pools you can join, that's when they're open and closed. When do you plant as far as gardens, things of that sort? Right after Derby Day is what's highly recommended to make sure there's not a late frost. When is Derby Day? If you don't know, first Saturday in May. It's always the first Saturday in May. So sort of the old tale. My grandfather always had really big gardens, and he said, lived to be 97, and said, don't ever plant before Derby Day. And I've seen that even before, or we've had some colder temperatures actually sneak in there and get a frost overnight, heading into even late April, like I said, or early May. So plant everything right after Derby Day, you'll be in a good spot. People sometimes ask, like, what's like the best time to come to Kentucky? So if you're visiting, or if you're like, hey, and you move here and you're not from here and you're like, I want people to come visit or whatever, opinion-wise, this is just mine, is May and September are two of the prettiest months. Just probably the most temperate with things. Particularly, I even even say September over May. Just, kind of feel like that low 80s feel, just clear skies. It's really pretty, and everything's still very green in September. So I think that's some of the prettiest things. And one of my favorite things to do is just take a drive and go out toward horse country. So leave Louisville, head east, and just drive some of those back roads because it's so green and very, drop the sunroof and enjoy that. So that's a lot about the weather here in Louisville, Kentucky. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to contact me or comment, and I'll answer some of that. But you feel free to just contact me directly. I'm always happy to talk about it. Specifically about some of the weather. One of the big jokes around here is that, just right around 15 minutes it'll change. We do see a lot of variation in weather here, including within, especially spring and fall, but in winter, really all the season. You see a little bit of variation in it. You just don't know how it's going to kind of swing. So except for the dead of winter and the dead of summer is usually similar. But I mean, I've seen warmer Christmases and colder, or sometimes some cooler temperatures in the summer overall. Anyways, like I said, real estate broker here. So if you have any questions about real estate as well, always happy to help there, answer any questions. Check out some other videos. You want to subscribe, like, all that good YouTube stuff to find out more, get notifications of other videos I make. I make videos about Louisville, Kentucky specifically, and also about real estate in the area. So thank you very much for tuning in. Check out some of the videos if you like this, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.